Village explosion. At least one person is unaccounted for this morning after yesterday's blast and fire. The family of 23-year-old Nicholas Figueroa says he was on a date in a sushi restaurant in one of the buildings that collapsed. CBS 2's Andrea Grymes live in the East Village. She has more for us this morning. Andrea.
Well, Chris, about 19 people were injured, but the FDNY does confirm this morning there is a list of people still unaccounted for. Let me step out of the way. You can see the active scene behind me. We're about a block away from where this explosion happened. Still lots of firefighters on the scene, police as well as Con Edison. The FDNY not saying how many people are on that list of those unaccounted for. Flames and smoke shot out of these buildings on 2nd Avenue, the windows glowing bright orange, engulfed in fire.
I just heard this incredible, sonic explosion. I mean, it was like you could feel it. It was a very instantaneous kaboom.
This morning, the FDNY confirms Nicholas Figueroa is on the list of those unaccounted for. His family reportedly says he was on a date at the sushi restaurant at 121 2nd Avenue. The building rocked by that explosion from the basement around 3:17 yesterday afternoon.
I was walking by. It happened right next to me.
First responders and Good Samaritans helped those injured as fire crews arrived and quickly went in, looking for survivors.
They, for the first 15 minutes before the building started to collapse, made extremely dangerous searches of these buildings to search for any victims, and were forced out by the subsequent collapse of 123 and 121.
The fire after the initial blast jumped to 3 adjacent buildings. 3 out of the 4 buildings affected ended up collapsing.
Preliminary evidence suggests a gas-related explosion. That investigation is ongoing.
Earlier yesterday afternoon, Con Edison inspectors were at 121 2nd Avenue looking at the installation of a new gas meter and pipes, but determined gas was not ready to go through them. The vice president of emergency management for Con Ed spoke exclusively to CBS 2 News about the private contractor doing the work.
There was no leak. There was no leak at the time we were there.
But you were there to inspect these pipes.
The new piping.
And the Japanese restaurant had installed these pipes.
I guess the plumber for the Japanese.
Okay. And your guy said this is no good. So what happened next?
Nothing. We leave nothing changed to the status of the piping.
Was
And we
there
left.
any gas?
What has to be done. And we took pictures, and then what we do is we go back and we explain to them why they didn't meet the spec.
Con Ed says the work failed the inspection partly because the space for a new gas meter was not big enough. And back out here live, up until a short time ago, firefighters were still putting water on this scene. Con Edison says they had no reports of any gas odors in this area prior to the explosion. They say they also surveyed the gas mains on this block on Wednesday and found no leaks. In the meantime, the Red Cross says it is helping about 80 people displaced, including 1 child. We're live this morning in the East Village. Andrea Grymes, CBS 2 News.
Andrea.